Hi guys, this is Brompton Street in a place called Linthorpe on Teesside, and on the street I've just bought my third property. It's a 2-bedroom terraced house which I got for £69,000. It's a little bit more than I would want to pay, but that's the times we're living in. House prices are rising, and if you're watching this sometime in the future, now is the 7th of the 11th in 2021. Now I could take you inside, but it has a sitting tenant and I don't have the tenant's permission to enter the property. Besides which, why should I let you go inside when I haven't even been inside it? Now I said a couple of contentious things in that video. The first one is that I've not been inside it, and the second one was it has a sitting tenant. Now let's deal with the fact that I've not been inside it. This is actually the second property I've bought through Matt. I haven't been in the first one either. But why is that important? Well, isn't it a bit risky, you see? You've bought this thing? No, it's not risky at all. Here's how I work with Matt. Matt knows my criteria is income. I'm not bothered about massive discounts or refurbing and then flipping. It's all about the money. So when he finds one that meets my criteria, he then sends me some photographs, some comparables for the area, a brief description, that is to say that it'll rent for this, it'll rent forever, and that's all I'm bothered about. If I like it, I buy it. And that's it. Now, wait a minute, Paddy, surely that is risky. I mean, you've never been in it. He could be dropping you right in it here. Wait a minute, we're talking about Matt, who has a large portfolio of his own property and has been dealing in that area as a letting agent for a long time, years and years and years. And you think that me, a taxi driver in Gates at 40 miles away, is going to add anything to what he says? He's not going to pull the wool over my eyes. I can't tell him anything he doesn't know because he's the expert. Yeah, but shouldn't you be taking, I don't know, a property course and learning all this stuff yourself so you can cut Matt out the loop? Well, I suppose I could do that if you can find a decent property course, of course, and somebody's not just ripping you off. But I could also take one on plumbing, couldn't I? Or on joinery, on building, and then I could just build my own house and be done with it. But whilst I'm doing that, I'm spending a lot of time doing that. I'd much rather just pay someone else, an expert already, to do all that work for me. And I can get on doing, well, what I'm good at, whatever that is. Then there's the issue with a sitting tenant. Now all the property gurus will tell you, oh, don't buy a property with a sitting tenant. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. Why should it be a nightmare? If the guy's on an assured short hold tenancy, an AST, and he's lived in the property for 7 years, he pays his rent cash weekly, has done so for 7 years, not missed a week, and is made his stated intent to live there until he dies, and hopefully he's in no rush. What's the problem? I just don't get it. But what about the assured short hold tenancy, the AST? What if it's invalid? Well, you know, we have the curious situation when you buy a property in this country that your solicitor is not just representing your interests, he represents the interests of the lender as well, which you pay for, by the way. The lender doesn't pay for that privilege. So he has to make sure that everything in place, that the lender's interest is secure too. And if there's a problem with the AST, or there isn't an AST, then they will not draw down the funds from the lender and you will not get the property. So the solicitor makes sure that all this good stuff's in place on yours and the lender's behalf. Now this particular property came via an agent to Matt. Why through Matt? Well, because all the agents and landlords in the area know Matt. He's been there for a long time. Now this is a landlord's property, and why can't the landlord go to, I don't know, Rightmove or go to a local estate agent and put it on there? Because it has a sitting tenant, and most people on Rightmove are there to sell their property to somebody who wants to buy it and live in it. So he can't go that route. So he has to go to another landlord who appreciates the situation. So he's gone via Matt. Matt said to me, this meets your criteria, Perry. Do you want it? It's got a sitting tenant. And I say, well, why do they throw the tenant out? Well, he could do if you want, but it's his brother-in-law. And you know all the complications that will have. So he doesn't want to do that. So we have to use the tenant. Not a problem. It's on an AST. He's paying a bit less rent than he should do. But, I mean, you have to make a judgment call on that. Do you want to buy this or not? So, of course, I said, yes, I'll buy it. So let's look at the numbers. I'm buying the property for £69,000. If you check on Zoopla, it says worth £90,000. Matt says that's nonsense and it's probably worth £80,000. So I'm buying it with £11,000 equity already in the property. The mortgage is £83. The rent is £467. He actually pays £110 a week. So if you take off Matt's management fees and the mortgage, I'm getting £337 a month rent from that. Now, as I said earlier on, I could be getting more rent from that, but I made a judgment call. It's probably about £50 a month less than what the area would suggest. But here's the thing. I could wait till the end of his tenancy agreement and ask him to vacate the property and then put a slap of lick of paint on there and get somebody else and who would pay £50 more. But it's a balance, isn't it? Because I could do that, I could get £50 more, but that new tenant might leave in 6 months or 12 months, and then I'll have a couple of months voids, and then I might have to spend a bit of money doing it up, depending on the state of the property that it's been left in. Or I can take my fella who's in there right now and lose £50 a month, but he's been there for 7 years. He wants to live there till he dies. He's not bothersome. He doesn't expect a lot of work or refurbs to be done regularly on the property. So you make a judgment call. To me, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So I'm going to sit here and take his money, and he can live in the property and smoke himself to death over the next 20 years. We're both going to be very happy with it. So there we are, my third rental property. I got it for £69,000. It's worth £80,000. It cost me £22,500 in total. So that's deposit, solicitors, stamp duty, mats, finders, fees, little lick of paint here and there. £22,500. It's my third property. My rental income from my 3 properties now cover all my expenses. After 3.5 years, I've reached what we call lean financial independence. My next milestone is property 5, because at property 4 and 5, after the 5th one, I then have enough money from rent to equal the amount I'm making earned income from Taxium. And at that stage, in the next 12 months, I hope, I'll become fully financially independent. Keep watching, guys, and if you've enjoyed my journey so far and this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Don't be stupid and don't be normal.